Assalamu alaikum. I'm Malik Hodge, the angel warrior of the Midwest and a messenger of the covenant, representing the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals, the self-taught one. Master Suleiman is giving us the angel, the gospel of revelations, with the angel key that gives us the understanding of the unsealed scriptures. This is Up Late Update with Malik Hodge on this Monday, August the 29th, 2022. This is where we take current events and give the understanding of these current events from the angel perspective, the unsealed scriptures, and give you the understanding of each event and how it fits to what's taking place in today's time through the unsealed scriptures. Now, we're going to get right into it tonight. Our first topic is going to be Israel, UN, and AMB America weakness with Iran deal could see Israel get closer with Arab Arab neighbors. The Biden administration eagerness to enter into the Iran nuclear deal that critics find to be deeply flawed could result in Israel strengthening ties with Arab neighbor. Former Israeli ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon says. In the interview with Fox News, Digital Danon said that from the look of it, the deal that will come out of the current negotiations will absolutely not be any better than the original joint comprehensive plan of action entered into by President Barack Obama. What we are seeing now is shorter and weaker, said Danon, who is not now chairman of the Global Communication Wing of Israel's Likud Party. He contrasts this with the expectation that the New Deal would be longer and stronger. The shorter time before the deal expiration would simply provide a short delay before Iran developed a nuclear weapon. Critics fear while the economic benefit of lifting sanctions, urging Iran would give them an influx of cash to eventually support their nuclear program and support their terror in the region. An Israeli spy chief reportedly slams Iran deal as a strategic disaster. As a result of a new deal, Danon said, many radical groups will be empowered. Danon said that the Biden administration is ignoring the requests of allies in the region by not insisting on stronger terms in the deal. As a result of this perceived weakness position on the deal, Danon said Israel will turn to what until recently would have been unlikely allies. We would actually get closer to our new allies in the region, moderate Arab countries, Danon said in reference to the countries like the United Arab Emirates, Morocco, and Bahrain that reaches historic deals with Israel during the Trump administration. Danon said this could mean an increase in cooperation between Israeli and Arab countries in terms of defense security and possibly even in terms of military cooperations. Kirby pressed on. Israel's concerns over a nuclear deal, says Biden understands but plans to move forward. Those nations, as well as Saudi Arabia, share Israel's trepidation about the possibility of Iran even possessing a nuclear weapon. We hope that we will come together for another reason, Dannon said. Dannon also issued a reminder that no matter what the future Iran nuclear deal may look like, Israel is not a party to it, and thus is not bound by its terms. We will keep all options on the table, he said. Ron Britzer is a politics reporter for Fox News. There's a story. Tips can be, oh, that's nothing. So, we start off with with the JCPOA, or the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Israel is sharing that they are not bound by anything about the JCPOA. They says the deal is weaker and shorter. They said that America is not listening to its allies, and it's not a good deal. However, they said there that Americans' weakness is strengthening false Israel's ties with Arabian, other Arab nations. So, in that, Arab nations that they spoke on are the nations that have came about and have aligned with false Israel under the title of the Abraham Accord. Morocco. Who are those? It's Morocco, United Arab Nation. Let's get it. Let's make sure we got it all the way. And it's Arab countries, Arab Emirates, Morocco, and Bahrain, and also Saudi Arabia. So they're saying there, they might get closer in economics and military, joint military actions. So they're really opposed. There's a lot of people opposing this JCPOA. And not just outside of America. There's a lot of senators and politicians in opposed to the JCPOA. However, Biden, they're saying his goal is just to get one signed. And if knowing and what he's after is just to try to steal a deal. Not a good deal, just any deal. And still the deal that they're saying that it will release $100 billion to Iran to fund its nuclear program. And you know, they're always going to say when you're dealing with false Israel, any of Iran's enemies, they're always going to call them a terrorist, and they're going to fund terrorism, just like all their money's going to go to terror. Like they're not going to take care, like they people not having problems, like their economic system having been staggered by the sanctions, been shut down by the sanctions. But they're just going to put all that money into this. They're not going to take care of it. Okay. However, why in this? Why, for one, in Iran's position, why would you make a deal with the devil? Why would you make a deal with the devil? And while you making a deal with the devil, Satan's sitting on high, ready to attack you. False Israel, the Zionist state. So why would you make this deal with the devil, knowing that the next administration is bound to get rid of the whole deal? The weakness of the deal is letting you know that the deal is not going to last. Now say they sign this deal. However, the angel says they're not going to sign the deal. But say they signed this deal and it might last a year and a half, a year to just say that. And the next administration come in, because there's going to be a different administration. There's going to be a different administration. I don't know who is going to be. If it was to be, there would be a new administration. However, we're not going to go down that road, because it's not, with what's taking place. We're going to stay with that. We're just speaking in terms of if and what, with terms of they don't know what's taking place, not from the Indian perspective. However, if the time comes, a new president will come in, his administration would immediately get rid of that weak plan, because the senators, their allies, everybody's calling it weak. So it's not going to stand. So looking at it from Iran, what do? We can get $100 billion out of it. We can get another year, but to get it, we got to give up something. And what do we give up? Our nuclear program? Do we give up our enriched uranium for money that is going to take us much longer to get to what our objective is, or we have to submit something? So just looking at it as that, you know that the deal is not going to last, especially with America, and they're not getting any security on the deal. They know that this deal wouldn't last until the next administration. It wouldn't. It's just a fact. And Iran is not done. Why would you sign a deal when you know America is not going to keep to it? Period, point blank. Joe Biden doesn't care. He just wants something signed to say he got it signed. And immediately after, a new administration is going to come in, and they're going to, and if it's Trump, you know it's over. So nothing going to be rid of. There's no security in the deal for Iran. It's worthless. The war in the Middle East is going to take place regardless. The Middle East is boiling. It's at a boiling point. It is bound to escalate any moment. So this is the JCPOA, and it's you know, it's, they're saying, falsehoods saying they're getting closer with their Arab allies now. They're allies. You would have never, they said that themselves, you would have never thought we would be allies with these Arab nations. You better understand what's being shared. The India's perspective. The Sunnis, brothers and sisters. Those that have sold us out. Those are Ishmaelites. Ishmaelians. Hagar's children. Abraham's children through Hagar. And they don't want us over there. They don't want Isaac's seed back over there. And so they would join forces with the Zionist state, knowing that they definitely they don't have no parts of original, no part. They're Satan. They're devils. They're Satan. They had nothing original in them. However, we're going to get out into our next topic. Let's go to the next topic. Man, I tell you, it's a bad deal. Israel's against it. Everyone. However, it's still things that's holding up the deal anyway. Oh man, I had a bomb coming. Okay. Uh, mm, mm, mm. All right. We're going to go on with our next topic. Our next topic is going to be, wait a minute. Okay. Let's go on and do that while we're at it. You know. All right. Okay. All right. We're gonna do Europe is no. Ukraine strikes. Okay. I tell you, man, when you got everything planned and it's moving beautiful, something always tries to rip it apart. But I got you. Now let's get it. All right. Ukraine strikes hit. Now, there we are. Ukraine strikes his fuel depot at Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. Russian installed officials installed by Russia in Ukraine said on Monday that a Ukraine missile punched a hole in the roof of the fuel depot at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. The RIA Novosti news agency reported. Vladimir Ragul, a member of the Russian-backed administration in the region of Zaporizhzhia, posts pictures on Telegram of what he said was a hole in the roof of the building at the site used to store fuel for the facility reactors. Reuters was unable to verify the battlefield report. Kyiv and Moscow have both denied targeting Europe's largest nuclear power plant while accusing each other of doing so. Both say the situation is a facility threatening the safety of Europe and accuse each other of risking a nuclear disaster. Following claims of the strike, officials said the duration levels at the plant was normal. Russian installed officials in Zaporizhia accused Ukraine of continuously firing on the plant on Monday. Ukraine used a U.S.-made M777 howitzer to fire the artillery shell, the TASS news agency reported, cutting the local administration. Reports of the strike came as the United Nations nuclear watchdog said on Monday it was sending a mission to the plant, which is manned by Ukraine staff but under the control of Russia armed forces. Okay. Now, this topic here, and you have to do a lot when you reading this. See, we coming out. A lot of times I like to get the story outside of America. America reports. Since you're dealing with America, you're going to get it's always going to be whitewashed or one-sided, or basically a lie with the truth, but it's got an agenda or a narration that it's always pushing. The news, when it comes out of America, is usually it's being forced up on you in a way that it's telling you something to cause you to think the way that they want you to think is taking place. However, Ukraine, Russia has, now listen to this. It's insane the way that they try to flip the story on you and cause you, people brains are, people don't think no more. They don't even think. They're not used. Brothers and sisters, you don't use your brains. You don't think out what they're telling. They tell you anything, and they repeat these things, and you just go for it. However, if Russia has the nuclear plant occupied, how the hell are they bombing it? Now, why would you bomb a nuclear plant and you have it occupied? And they sit up here and tell you, well, we don't know if it's Russia or Ukraine bombing. They're both blaming it on each other. Why the hell would you bomb a nuclear plant that you have occupied, you're in control of? Why are you going to bomb it? Stupid. It just doesn't make any sense. That's dumb. But this is the way they try to sell their lies. They try to trump up lies in all aspects to fit their narrative. Ukraine, they don't care about their own people. They can't. Because the Ukrainian soldiers are bombing or shooting missiles at the Zaporizhia power plant, nuclear power plant. They're the ones bombing the nuclear power plant. So they're attempting to cause a radioactive spill of a sort, anything, and they don't care about their own people that are at risk. They don't care. See, it's a clause called a clause number 5 in NATO's procedures. That in any case of a nuclear outbreak in any kind, NATO, because that nuclear outbreak will put NATO countries at risk of nuclear, so it's called like a nuclear war, they'll be calling it. So at any type of accident, NATO will be allowed to come and participate or fight a assault against Russia. So they sit up here and speak this stupidity into the people's ear. They give the narration. See, this is why we have to give a true narration to everything that was taking place, and then give you the understanding from the unsealed scriptures, from what's taking place in the world. So, brothers and sisters, a dummy will sit and have his army around a nuclear plant and then bag up a little bit and bomb the plant, and we the one at the plant. But this is how stupid that the media, especially America's media, and Ukraine's president thinks people are. Why are Ukraine's president Vladimir Zelensky, whichever one, not telling his military don't bomb that nuclear plant? Why is America, why is no one going to them telling them, do not bomb that nuclear plant? Because it's a cause and they want that to happen. And you know damn well it's got to be Ukraine bombing the nuclear plant because Russia has it occupied. No one's going to occupy something and bomb it. Let's get to the next topic, because that's just pretty ridiculous. That's the type of narration that's the type of stuff they feed you. We sitting in somebody else's country, but they're terrorists. They in their damn country. How the hell is they a terrorist? America, that's what America do. We stop them from. Brothers and sisters, if you won't get your mind and look at the fact, look at how ignorant they think you are. They think the people is ignorant the way they speak to you. Just purely retarded. That's what you, not ignorant. You have to be retarded to believe this mess that they be telling you. Let me see where we are in time. Oh, we great. All right. Let us get to the next topic. Oh yeah. Before I go to this one, let us go and conquer that, because this is kind of a two-piece. It's kind of a two-piece. They kind of go together. U.S. Oh. Okay. Now, I don't even think we're gonna be able to do this one. We're not. Nope, we're not gonna be able to do this one. Alright, no problem. Let's get to the next one. Europe is moving backwards at a high speed. Europe is descending into poverty at a high speed. So, news is not traveling. You don't receive the news that you're supposed to get. I mean, news is being suppressed. Brothers and sisters, so I come up here and make sure that you get these news reports so you can understand what's taking place around the world and why. Now, Europe is moving backwards at a high speed. Now, this is Europe. Last year, Europe was a moderate, rich. Germany, the richest in Europe. They are chasing. Right now, Europe's energy crisis is unbelievable. And we've been sharing this with you from the Indian perspective of how it was going to get like that. And that if you see this taking place over there, these things would have been happening over here. However, Europe is, last year you can get wood all around you. This year, you can't even buy wood to burn because of the energy crisis that Europe is looking to face this winter. They don't have gas, petroleum, natural gas. They're going into a recession. Europe has many of their businesses closing down because they're not going to have energy to make it through the winter. Now this is, they say it's so bad, it's like they're going back into the times of dark age times. They're out cutting down trees to get wood. Now they're out cutting trees and putting them out in wood chips, calling them what do they call them? The wood chips. Well, I'll figure it out. Well, so last year, Germany, only 6% of people use wood. This year, firewood is not even to be bought. Now they have cars lined up along the woodway trying to buy these wood chips. Poland has cars lined up at the coal mine. At a coal mine, let's say, there is energy shortage in Europe, and as a result, the price has risen up 50% in 1 week. In a week on energy. So it went from 700 a unit to 1,007 was a record. It's at 1,000. That's 50% in 1 week. Now, they're saying this and telling you this is what Germany is the richest country in Europe. Germany, this is where they were. You know what kind of cars they driving and so this was last year. This is this year. They're going into the dark. They're in a recession right now, and it's moving fast to the point they're preparing to not have any energy this winter. That the people are going to their own measures. They have to go cut wood. They have to go through the forest and get prepared. They have to prepare for not being able to have any energy, not being able to have natural gas. They totally dependent on fossil fuels. Totally dependent on fossil fuels. But they say that they were to go green, but they don't even know what going green means. The country, the continent is totally dependent on fossil fuels. But the people, like they said, they been telling you for years that they supposed to be coming off of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels is still fossil fuels is still in control of everything that you do. Still is your economics. Still control of moving you into their making you a modern nation. Fossil fuels. But they tell you all this stuff like they didn't got rid of fossil fuels and they got something to replace it. They don't have nothing to replace that right now. Nothing. And Europe is in a prime example from what the angel has shared, that this is what's going to take place, and it's being forced. This is being forced on them. It's a reason behind this. I'm not going to get into it right now, but from the angel perspective, yeah, we know what's forcing it like this. That war in the war in Russia, it's causing that the Europeans is called Russia's weaponizing oil, they're weaponizing food. Yeah, Why wouldn't you? Y'all weaponizing anything you can get your hands on. You're taunting people, whole nations. You don't weaponize. You keep a bomb over them. We're gonna nuke you. We're gonna bomb you. Hell. Now, this is happening, and this is taking place at the end of their summer, which they had a severe drought, and now this severe drought, they're expecting a severe winter. Severe. With no energy, with lack of energy, with lack of gas, with lack of heat, with lack of energy to run the country. Their economy is collapsing like quickly, like we've been sharing. However, you sit in America and feel like, it's not coming to a house near you. It's not coming to you. It's not going to make it this far. It's a domino effect. Before we get into that, I'll bring you back at the end when we get into the wrap up. Let me see where we at. Oh! Let me see if there's another topic that I want to get in, or try to get it in. No, I'm not gonna be able to get. Well, I'll give you the a named tropical system is likely to I got a couple, but I'm not gonna go into it. Due to time, I'm gonna keep on make sure that we stick to our time schedule. So another topic would just cause us to run over our time. So let's wrap it up. So the JCPOA, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, the 2015 Nuclear Agreement. This New Deal is not liked by pretty much anyone except Joe Biden. It can't be insured, so there's no insurance, and Iran knows that without having anything in writing, the next administration can kick it out just like Trump did and enforce the sanctions right back up on them. Immediately back up on them. And Iran knows that. Everyone does. If they wanted it, they'll put it through the Senate, they'll put it through the House or whatever they had to do and get it signed up in a way that the next administration couldn't affect it. But they're not willing to do that, and they're not willing to wait to go through those. They don't have the time to go through that lengthy process. So we'll see what's taking place is on the hand, and there's still a couple of things that they haven't come to sides with anyway, because at the same time they're offering the deal, there's still the IAEA is still trying to charge them or investigate Iran and pull up something on them about their nuclear program and this why they found traces of uranium in undisclosed places inside of Iran. So they're still investigating that, which can also put sanctions and different things on them. So they haven't even squared that circle. So that they're not one on that. And what's the other? They can't give them any guarantee. That's just facts. Biden can't give no guarantee. Biden can say, well, I'll keep it in place as long as I'm in here. How long you gonna be there? Then you got the Senate, you got all these people against it. You got your two allies that you just went over there and spoke with. They all against it. Iran knows that. How long will this agreement last? It's not going to stick. Why would you sign it? So the JCPOA is directly connected to this war in the Middle East that's going to take place. Now, the war in the Middle East and what's taking place in Britain or Europe. Now, this abomination of desolation in this war in the Middle East, and you see what's taking place because of the war in Russia. How the effect of natural gas and oil is going up at 50% in 1 week. So the prices are, inflation is rising. Now, I'm going to give you the things that we just spoke about in Europe. The war in the Middle East, when Michael and his angels, Iran and Syria, go to war with the dragon and his angels, which is the House of Assad, America and Britain, and false Israel. When Iran and Syria removes the House of Assad, America and Britain from the Middle East, and sieges and destroys false Israel, what is that going to immediately cause with the energy, gas, and oil prices in America and its use? Knowing that fossil fuels run their free world, their society, their fossil fuels run it. Fossil fuels are totally, they talk about their turbines and their solar power and this, but their basis of their cars and everything that is used energy wise is still controlled by fossil fuels. Now, with America being kicked out the Middle East and Britain. And Britain is totally dependent on the oil that comes from the Middle East. They was getting oil from Russia, but they can't. That's already shut off. So America's oil line has been wiped out. You're not getting any more oil out the Middle East. So the oil that they in Syria is stealing, the oil that they get from Saudi Arabia is no longer coming in. What do you think that domino effect is going to be? America overnight, just like Germany, will be looking at a crisis in fossil fuels, in oil, heat, and use. America might have its own natural gas sources to last for a while, but the fossil fuels, what are you going to do? When you don't have the things to move your food from this spot to this spot, and you already have a heat, erosion, and drought in California, where 20 or 20 to 40% of America's food grows in produce wise. So you don't have fuel to move, and then the fuel that you do have, the government's going to suck it up, and then whatever is there, would you be able to afford it? Would you be able to afford $20, $25, $30 per gallon? And then it's going to keep continuing to go up because the shortage is going to push up the price because of how many people need it to live. So the price of it is just going to rise, and the military is going to be directly in control, or the government, the military, and is going to be control of all oil in America because they're going to need it to go to war. So the domino effect, you're looking and seeing what's taking place. They're speaking out. Their news outlets sharing with you what's taking place in Europe. It's going into the dark right now, but America don't know what's taking. Brothers and sisters is caught up on worrying about a damn football game and where somebody is in the baseball season and how they look in the soccer game. The silliest damn things that ain't gonna save nothing, and your children's lives are on the line. Your life is on the line. And this stuff, you're looking at Europe or what's taking place overnight. Overnight. But you think it's so far away. It's out of your mind, out of sight, out of your mind. But it's the domino effect, and it's just a moment away because this abomination of desolation, the war in the Middle East, this JCPOA is going to spark, and then the region is at a boiling point, period. They're all saying, regardless of the JCPOA, the region is about to escalate. War is imminent. So, Michael and his angels going to take out the dragon and his angels. Going to kick Saudi Arabia out. Going to kick Gog and Magog out the Middle East. It's going to seize and destroy false Israel. That oil that you're getting will not be able to be received anymore. That shock, that's going to shock the world as well. People's minds, his head's going to explode, heart's going to give out, body, strokes, aneurysms, just nervous conditions. They're not going to be able to handle the truth that they're witnessing, that they're seeing, and this spiral, it's going to spiral down just like Europe is in a down spiral right now in your face. And America is not making this headline news. What they're talking about, Mar-a-Lago and all this. Europe is in a down spiral. No, energy crisis. Their economic system is crumbling because of this. Their inflations are rising. The thing is, anyway. Brothers and sisters, I have to bring this to a close. I'm going to keep the trickle effect, the abomination, the desolation, the shock of the hour. That's what it is. That's where we at. That's where what we seeing any day. The Middle East is it's at its boiling point. And brothers and sisters is out their damn minds, living in the matrix, worried about your children's life is on the line. Your life is on the line. And you don't know what's going on in the real world. The Abrahamic covenant, you were behind all these things. Since 2020, nothing has been the same. You're the true seed of Abraham. The messenger of the covenant, the angel, the Summa is the unsealed scriptures, the atom bombs that are being released by those scriptures is making this thing happen. Making these happen. And we are the existential threat. And you don't even know what's taking place. However, we'll bring this segment of update with Malik Hodge to a close. I'll be here tomorrow at the same time, 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern, and 9 o'clock Pacific. And I'll greet you in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu Alaikum.